Hello, and welcome to this week's Trafford TV with me, Sam Martin. I'm talking to Elaina Quesada, who is the Prevention Manager from Trafford's Youth Offending Service. She's here to tell me about some of the new initiatives that are being put in place across the borough to help provide activities for young people. So, Elaina, welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about some of these changes that you're bringing in?
Yeah, one of the projects that we've got at the moment is called Y Street, and what that means is that we have activities on a Friday and Saturday night for young people to give them something to do, somewhere to go. How it works is that it's linked up with street-based youth workers, so young people have choices to go to activities, but if they do not want to go to those activities, there's also youth workers who would walk around the streets and would speak to the young people and maybe set up a different type of a project for them, or just to sort of see why they didn't want to go to the activity. But it's those two fundamental aspects, street-based youth workers and activities in specific areas.
I see. So where did the idea come from to do this?
Okay, well, we had the idea in Trafford about 4 years ago, and we decided that really there was a real gap in terms of services and activities based for young people in the borough. Most activities went on midweek, and young people on a Friday and Saturday night didn't really have anywhere to go. So ourselves, the Youth Offending Service and also the Youth Service sat down together and we came up with a plan, and the plan was Y Street, and we had the street-based youth workers plus the activity, and that's where it sort of all began. Unfortunately, the funding ran out about 2 years ago, so the project sort of died away. However, luckily for us and luckily for the young people, the Youth Crime Action Plan was written recently by the government, and it basically sets out a way that we should work with young people and what sort of things would help to reduce crime, specifically from younger children. And one of the things that it actually recommends is that they have street-based youth workers plus activities on a Friday and Saturday night. So, Trafford was ahead of its time in terms of sort of saying, this is what was needed, really.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what sort of activities are being provided?
Okay, well, we're providing activities in a number of areas. In Old Trafford, we're having Let's Go Global, working with young people. It's a drop-in where they can come in on a Friday night, and their emphasis is around film and multimedia. In Altrincham, we're working with a voluntary group called G-Force, and what's happened there is that there are some shop units in the town centre that are actually vacant because of the credit crunch, and so they have actually taken over one of these units, and it's now a drop-in, so young people can come and have toast and tea and mocktails, which are non-alcoholic cocktails, and just have some time just to chill out, talk to the friends, it being in shelter, it's warm, just sort of fundamental things like that. And in Partington, we're having a football league that young people from various different ages, right from 8 to 19, can enter in with the friends and play against each other, and it can also other groups from other parts of the borough can also enter in, so it sort of reduces tensions that different areas might have with each other as well. So
it actually gets to break down some of the barriers and helps people come together.
Yeah, definitely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you've talked about Let's Go Global and G-Force. What other sorts of agencies and organisations are involved in this?
Okay. Well, as I said before, the fundamental basics come from the youth service and the youth offending. So from April, things are slightly changing. The youth service are going to totally lead on the street-based youth work element to it, and the youth offending service is leading on the activity-based element to it. So we're liaising with the voluntary community sector to commission them to deliver the activities on the Friday and Saturday night. So obviously the voluntary community sector are sort of vital in that. The other main agency is the police. So the street-based youth workers are going out with the police on a Friday and Saturday night, and they are largely working with the PTSOs. So they would do a briefing at the beginning of the night, meet up midway through the night, and then do a final debriefing at the night. at the end of the night. So if there are any issues, or if the PCSOs have spotted anything, or if the youth workers have spotted anything, they can share that information, and they can sort of make sure that they can improve things both for the young people and also for the communities.
So you've talked about the number of different agencies involved in this and how it's going to go and help young people all across the borough. Just how important is it that this project works?
It's really important. It's really important because the council has a responsibility to give young people in the borough something to do, somewhere to go on a Friday and Saturday night. It's really important that young people have positive input from adults who, want the best for them and want them to reach their full potential. And it's also really important that the council are committed to making Trafford a nice place to live, because the project is also about reducing crime. It's also about making communities safer. So with all those things put together, I'd say that the project was very important.
Sounds good. So definitely, what would the long-term effects be of this then?
Long-term effects, well, long-term effects is that young people go on to, live meaningful lives, that they're sort of engaged in the local community where they live, that they, go on and achieve what they want to achieve out of life. And also, again, we are the youth offending service, that young people don't get into the criminal justice system, and that crime is reduced. That's what the overall aim is, in terms of making best outcomes for young people, but also reducing crime.
That's great. Thank you, Elaina, for spending your time with us today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
That's all from Trafford TV this week. You can find out more about this and other stories on the news section of the council website. Tune in again next week for more Trafford TV.